distinguished guests, members of the Board of Trustees, President Jacobs, participants and friends of Rock Valley College, and fellow Eskimos. I appreciated the introduction, but I would remind you that a generous introduction is like perfume. It's pleasant if inhaled and dangerous if swallowed. 10 years ago this month, we broke ground for the first building on the new campus at Rockford College. Hardy people there, like hardy people here, going ahead and doing it in November, even if November is sometimes a little unkind. I am proud to take part in this service. A story is told of a motorist who was filling out the customary report following an automobile accident in which he was involved. He came to one of the questions toward the end of the report and reflected for quite a while before he wrote any answer. When he turned the report in, the clerk who received the document looked it over to see what might have been the puzzler, and he came to the question, what could the driver of the other vehicle have done to avoid the accident? And the motorist had written, he could have parked elsewhere. In this time, when almost everyone has endless ideas about what is going wrong with our society, there is a temptation to point the finger at the other fellow and yell at him, your end of the boat is sinking, or to blame the other fellow for not doing something other than what he's doing. The fact is that the only long-range hope for our society lies not so much in identifying the other fellow's shortcomings as it lies in taking positive action to improve the circumstances of our nation. Certainly the development of this, our community college, is one such major affirmative accomplishment. This is a solemn as well as a joyous occasion. It is solemn in that this ceremony serves as a symbolic rite of gratitude to all those who have made possible this college and the Educational Resources Center. It is an official moment of thanksgiving to all those people. And it's a joyous event, as this entire community college district can look to a wiser and a more vigorous future as a result of the learning which has taken place, now takes place, and will take place on the Rock Valley College campus. In considering the significance of this occasion, I want to recall a statement made by Horace Mann. Horace Mann is regarded as having done more than any single person to advance the cause of public education in our country. One of his achievements was the propagation of the idea of an institution of higher learning designed specifically to prepare teachers for the public schools. Horace Mann is given major credit for the establishment of the first normal school, which was at Lexington, Massachusetts in 1839. Speaking about the normal school as an educational agency, he said, quote, coiled up in this institution as in a spring, there is a vigor whose uncoiling may wheel the spheres. Certainly the incredible success of our nation in providing public education to all young people was dependent upon the production of teachers through the development of the normal schools. Times change and new needs arise. I believe the vision of unfolding power which Horace Mann so accurately perceived in the normal school in 1839 is now wholly appropriate, unfolding power, wholly appropriate to the community college, that among all the types of institutions of higher learning, it is the community college which offers the greatest additional increment of hope for our society, which offers ever-expanding horizons to those young people and old who are willing to reach out for new knowledge and new skills. The great fundamental promise of America remains now, as it always was in the past, the opportunity for self-improvement. Through the decades, the immigrants coming to this country left societies that were locked into rigid class structures, governed by customs and legal codes which all but foreclosed advancement of condition and advancement of position to the people of the lower classes. The immigrants came to America because they saw here the land of opportunity. This remarkable Rock Valley College offers dramatic proof that the American promise of self-improvement is not only still alive, but is vigorous and indomitable. For those of you who have not worked in the field of education, it is probably impossible for you to realize what a miracle was wrought when this college was put together from scratch in a few months by the trustees and by the initial devoted group of faculty, staff, and students. Rockford College, where I served, learned the complications of trying to operate on just two distant premises at once. But we entered our double life as an organization that had worked together for a long time. That Rock Valley College was able to begin its operations in almost half a dozen locations. At the same time, it was developing its library services, its bookstore, its class scheduling, and all the endless complexities of an academic institution. Is an accomplishment of truly extraordinary proportions, really a miracle of dedication and accomplishment. And it has been a continuing miracle that in a matter of just over 5 years, it has grown so solidly to a present enrollment of 4,500 students, has served over 15,000 students, reaching out each year to develop additional services to meet community needs in cooperation with other agencies of the area under the calm, alert, and able leadership of Dr. Jacobs and the successor trustees. I am proud to speak as a representative of the other educational and service agencies of this junior college district in registering our admiration and our congratulations for what has been accomplished at Rock Valley College, and to register assurance of our continued cooperation and support for this college as it serves the educational and training needs of this region. Once I attended a christening at which the presiding clergyman, having accomplished the religious ritual, turned to the family and said, "Each child that comes to earth bears the message that God is not yet discouraged of man. This tiny baby is a marvelous unit of potential. It is up to you," the clergyman said to the family, "to make sure that he grows strong and sturdy, that all the best potential is fed and nourished and made vigorous and effective." Whereas, as the presiding officer of a college of 700 students, I can hardly describe a sister institution of 4,500 students as a tiny baby. Nevertheless, the clergyman's message is otherwise, I believe, wholly appropriate to this 5-year-old. This Rock Valley College is a marvelous unit of potential. It is for all of us who live in this region, as members of the Rock Valley College family, to try to make sure that it is nourished and encouraged and appreciated. The public educational institutions, like the private ones, have their difficult times as well as their good times. And like human beings, educational institutions need more help and more support rather than less in the difficult times. As we formally commit this Educational Resources Center to its permanent usage in service for our society, may we as citizens also commit ourselves to sustain this college in the difficult times as well as the good times, offering advice out of respect and affection rather than bitterness or rancor when we have advice to give, and working to make sure that Rock Valley College continues to have the physical facilities and the financial resources so that the potential coiled up in this collegiate institution may unfold to the benefit of everyone. To you, Mr. Hammerslag, and the other trustees, to Dr. Jacobs, the faculty, students, and staff of Rock Valley College, I bear the congratulations and the appreciation of your community for what you have already accomplished, and extend the warm goodwill of your community for the work that lies ahead. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Howard, for those kind words of inspiration. We're all grateful for your thoughtful ideas. We're now about to the point where we're going to do what we came here to do, put this box in the cornerstone. We thought we might do it outdoors. You may not believe it, but it's 15 degrees colder on the out there than it is in here. Through the miracles of modern education, we have TV monitors here, over which you're supposed to be able to watch this while remaining 15 degrees warmer than those who don't watch from here. I hope they work, and with that I'll turn this over to Mr. Seckler, who will conduct the placement of the cornerstone.
Thanks again, Hugh. Setting this cornerstone in place is symbolic of the tie that exists and grows stronger between Rock Valley College and the people of this district. It marks a major step toward the fulfillment of the commitment undertaken a little over 6 years ago to create a community college dedicated to serving local higher educational needs. And it also symbolizes a commitment to future generations of students. What we have done and what we will do here at Rock Valley College will be their heritage. By resolution of the Board of Trustees, Junior College District 511, dated November 16, 1970, the cornerstone we're about to set in place will be removed and the vault opened in the year 2020, 50 years from now. Thus, many of today's students, and God willing, many of the rest of us, after all, I'll only be 92, may be able to be on hand to share that experience of reflection. Your program lists the items which are to be sealed and have been sealed in the vault here in front of me. And as you can see, those who review its contents 50 years from now will have not only a clear picture of the early history of Rock Valley College, but also, through the newspapers, television films, and radio recordings, a first-hand look at our life and times. I'd like now to ask Mr. Doug Gerke, who is President of the Student Commission, and Terry Drummond to step forward and to take this box out to this cornerstone area and place it where it will be laid by the rest of the members. Doug and Terry? We thought at first we'd be right beside them, but we'll have to wait a minute now until they can place it in the proper place under the new situation here. To seal the stone, we'd now like to ask representatives of the various groups who have given voluntarily of their time and talent to the college to participate with us. As I call their names, we'd like for them to come forward. Take one of the small souvenir trolls, which looks like this, which they'll receive at the door as they leave the building to go and place the mortar on the stone. And then do so, but stay long enough to have some pictures taken of you before you return back to this room. The first group that I'm going to call on is representative of members of the steering committee that put together that booklet I referred to before. If Denzel Showers is here, I'd like to have him stand and go to the door. Dave Salisbury is over in the other building. Mrs. Nyquist, Mrs. Larson, Betty Showers, and Oscar Hall. Are there any of those members here? Are there any other members of the steering committee that may have thought they weren't coming and didn't let us know? And if there are any of those people here, we'd like to have them at the Cornerstone. Also, we had a committee for the referendum to establish the monies for the pursuit of building these buildings. It was called the Committee for Rock Valley College. Clayton Hoisington, Denzel Showers, Betty Showers, and myself represent that group. Are those people seated or are they standing? We have a second group, and in this group we have asked all the past board members, the commission presidents, and all the former faculty council chairmen to lay the cornerstone. If Mr. Williams is here, Clayton, you can go right over to the door, if you will, and assist them in laying the cornerstone. This is Clayton Hoisington. Mrs. Hickey, Vivian is here, I know. And if Dean Olson is here, Terry Vassley, he's a former president of the Student Commission, if Terry is here. Tom Lounsbury, David Hine, and Dave Caskey, representing the Faculty Council as past presidents, if they would assist us in establishing our cornerstone. The final group would be the present board members, and I'll call them Mr. Hammerschlag, Miss Alden, Mr. Foreman, Mr. Wolf, Dr. Mano, and Reverend Phillips, and myself. We'd like to have Dr. Jacobs and Pete Kostanicus, our first board attorney, John Scow, the present chairman of the Faculty Council, and Doug Gerke, who is the chairman of the Student Commission. As soon as we return, we'll complete the program and be right back with you.
As soon as we have completed the ceremony here, we will be having a reception in classroom building number 1, which is back up at the head of the stairs and to your left. We would like to have been able to offer you a tour of this facility, but that's not practical as we're still building it and the contractor would like to continue. The Reverend Meyer will now lead us in prayer.
Let us pause for the benediction. May the grace and mercy and peace of God our Father add his blessing to this commemoration. Amen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You had not the best situation.
I think we made about the best of it.
You surely did. You surely did.
Thank you so much, Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bob. No, I was trying to not do anything here while they were still running things out there on the monitor. I didn't want to step on that. I hope it showed up. Oh, it was fine on the monitor. I was standing over there watching it. Then I got trapped by the...